All right, y'all, grab a drink and grab a snack because this video is massive. No, I didn't just develop a stutter. That's because it's Mitchell. Made by Mitchell, in fact. Hello, Champagne Dreamers. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but hit that subscribe button, stick around, join the family. My name is Jaye Champagne, and I am North Dakota's trash queen of glam, geek, and gore. And in today's video, I have been teasing this for a long time. If you watch my lives, I've been talking about this forever. We are finally here to do the full brand review of Made by Mitchell. So if you are excited to take a look at a whole bunch of products from Made by Mitchell and hear my thoughts about what's good, what's okay, and what is what the fuck, then stick around because we're getting into it right now.
It won't go away. I've got that feeling rushing through my body. I know that it is here to stay. It's like you're my personal Illuminati. I know that some might say that I am just a bad girl, but if you treat me right, I will be the best girl in this whole world. No, I'm not gonna fight. I've got my hands on your body.
That's right, we are doing a Made by Mitchell brand review. This is the first time I've done this, and I found that I was buying a lot of Made by Mitchell products. I was very interested. He was doing a lot of releases. He still does a lot of releases, and there were a lot of products that seemed kind of interesting, and I liked the packaging, I liked the colors, and so I kept picking up things, and I was like, you know what? This is by no means an exhaustive review of the whole brand, because like I said, he releases a lot, but this is a pretty comprehensive review of a lot of the categories that he releases products in. And I was like, you know what? Let's try them out. And so I've been road testing them. I've been using them in Get Ratchet With Me's. This look is actually going to be coming very soon. That's going to be my next video on the channel, which is a Get Ratchet With Me using all Made by Mitchell products. That's how we came up with this look. And so I was like, you know what? Let's do a full brand review. Let's go category by category and talk about all the products that I've picked up and talk about my feelings. And then we're going to sort them into fantastic, good, meh, and we actually have a few products that are what the fuck. So we're going to go ahead and get started with complexion products. All right, so let's start with primers. I have two primers. So here we have the Glow Goo Primer in Peach Pearl. Now this is a nice pearlescent primer. You can put it on before you put your foundation on. You can mix it into foundation. It's not as strong as like the Auric Glow Lust because you can see it looks white in the tube. So it's a very sheer kind of base that just has some shimmer, some probably mica or other shimmery particles in it. So it's not as intense as like the Auric Glow Lust or the Hollywood Flawless Filter. So it's just going to give you a nice kind of glowy base. And especially if you use like lighter coverage foundations, this is going to show up really well under those, or you could mix it in and just give you a little bit of a glow. Now this is the Blur Primer, and I did like the way that this worked, but it's kind of gross. So if you look, it's like oily and the oil separates. And I don't know what kind of storage system you've got going on. I don't know what kind of space you have. I don't know your life. But I have a lot of drawers where things have to lay down. And this leaked oil all over a drawer. So I did like the way that this performed, but the formula is kind of gross, kind of oily. I'm an oily beast, and I didn't notice that it made my makeup slip around. It didn't cause any problems like that, but it definitely caused problems just being in the drawer and like leaking, and it does separate, so you have to shake it up. So that's a little bit gross. Then we have the Build Foundation. So let's talk about the Build Foundation. Let's talk about all three shades of the Build Foundation that I bought. Now these stickers are sort of incomprehensible. I don't know what they're supposed to say. One looks like LB9, and then one looks like L or an H, because it kind of like has a little line that sort of connects it to the thing next to it, but not really. So it's like LB11 or HB11. I don't know what the fuck these shade colors are. I don't know how they're described. So that I can't help you. And also stickers in the Made by Mitchell world seem to be optional. Like the stickers just pop off. They are everywhere. In fact, There's a random shade sticker from something else just stuck to the back of this bottle, and I don't even know what that came from. So the stickers don't really stick to the bottles very well in most cases, and then sometimes you can't even read them. So I bought this shade first, and then this shade is sort of like, it kind of falls somewhere between George Hamilton and a hate crime. Like, it's too dark for me. It is not appropriate. So then I bought a lighter shade to mix it with. I also ended up buying the white, because I do like having a white foundation. I prefer a white concealer if I'm doing like a cut crease, but I can use this to mix in to lighten things if I need to. And having a white foundation to mix in with other like colored foundations is a good option. And so I did go ahead and buy another one of these foundations. I like it. We're going to get to the rankings at the end, but clearly I liked it enough to buy 3 different colors, so it's not terrible. Then we have the Brighten Concealer. Now this is really good. I generally like this. I've never found a concealer that I'm that excited about. I don't have, you know, like ride or die, must-have concealers the way that I do foundations. But it's a pretty good concealer. It does work really well with this foundation, and it works pretty well with other foundations that I've tried. I've used this, I think, with like the L'Oreal True Matte foundation. I liked that. I've tried it with the Oma Beauty. I liked that. So I do like this not only with its own foundation, because that's baseline, right? Like a concealer should work with the foundation from the same brand, at least the same line, because sometimes brands do different lines, like a dewy and a matte and whatever. But it should work with their own foundations. But another test of a concealer is, does it work with other foundations? And this one I found generally does. Then if you want a little bit of color correction, or if you want to use this for other color applications, because this bitch is pigmented. This is the color mini case in light, and this is the one that's specifically for like color correcting, because we've got 2 pink correctors, we've got 2 green correctors, and then we've got just a light concealer color here. So I've used these green correctors. I've used the pink a little bit under the eye just to kind of brighten up a little bit. I haven't used those a ton. The concealer is okay. I prefer the liquid concealer, the Brighten, but this is a nice little option if you want some color correctors. I don't use color corrector a lot because I put on so much foundation, it doesn't really matter. Then the last part of what I consider complexion products is my contour, which is bronzer products. I know there's allegedly a difference, and I know that a lot of time true contours are like neutral cool toned, and usually bronzers are warmer, but I use bronzers for contour. It's all the same thing. The first one, this is a word that you are going to hear many times throughout this video, and if you hate it, so do I, and that is blush. I don't know why all his blush products and cheek products have to be called blush, but here's where we are. This is accurate, it's factual. This is a National Geographic documentary. I can't help it, just get used to it. So this is the Blush Liquid Blusher. This is one of their concealer shades. This is Cream Carve, and I do generally like these. I, for the longest time, could not figure out how to use these, and really I was struggling with all liquid blushes and liquid bronzers and liquid cheek products. Once I found that turquoise teal colored Real Technique sponge, changed the game for me. It's more porous and it works so well with these liquid products, and now I actually kind of love this. Then we have a Blush Balm in Shade and Laid. Now this is a very dark color. This is a very, very dark brown. So this would be like a show contour. So I did use this a little bit, and when you watch the Get Ratchet with me, you can see how I use this. Normally I would put this on really thick and it would be for a show. Now if you struggle with these, because these do have a little bit, you know, it's called a Blush Balm. They are a little bit balmier, they're a little bit thicker, but I have found that if you have a wet sponge, it's easier to blend them out and get a more even application and thin the color down. I sometimes wet my sponges, I sometimes don't. I like using dry sponges, I don't think there's any problem with that, but with these in particular, these Blush Balms, I've found that you have to have a wet sponge to really get a good application. If you're struggling with these and you haven't tried a wet sponge, I would say give that a try, because that's the only way that I've been able to really make them work. But once I have that wet sponge, I get a pretty good application out of this. And this is one of the bronze pods. This is something you're going to see throughout. These little pods are like a baked formula. So you can see we've got this domed baked formula. This has a little bit of shimmer to it. So if you don't like shimmer bronzers, this is probably not going to be the one for you. I don't mind it, and I don't mind using a little bit of this to blend up into the highlight if I want to have a little bit more of a smooth transition between my contour and where my highlighter is, especially if I'm using like a golden highlight, having this kind of shimmery bronzer. So I think this is good. This is generally a pretty good baked formula. We're going to see it again when we get to blushes. So those are all of the complexion products. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to eyeshadow. All right, let's talk about eyeshadow. This is where, in general, I mean, spoiler alert for the rankings at the end, this is where I think Made by Mitchell really shines. The powder eyeshadows, those are some of my favorite products in his line. I do have 3 of the large palettes. I have 2 smaller palettes, and then I have a couple little mini quads we're going to take a look at. Some liquid shadows, some liners, and just some other random bits and bobs for the eyes. So the first Made by Mitchell product that I ever bought, this is the Feet on the Ground palette. I'm still kicking myself that I never got the Up in the Air. That one was also cute, but this one, you're going to see I had to have this one because it's a bunch of beautiful greens. I mean, I am nothing if not predictable. This is really beautiful. I actually used this palette when I did an audition for the show Company. I was auditioning for Joanne, my bucket list role. Unfortunately, I did not get cast, so I'll have to keep this around in case I need to do another audition. Please, someone hire me. Please. But I really love this collection of greens, and I think that some of these, like this wine purple, this bright orange, some of these neutrals in here, I think this is a really pretty palette. You can get some really interesting looks, and you can combine things in different ways to get a pretty good variety of looks. Now, you should be able to get a lot of variety because this is a pretty big palette, but I think it's pretty, and the quality really holds up. A lot of these shimmers are kind of your more traditional, like, satin shimmer, but, like, they're the best iteration of a satin shimmer, if you know what I mean. So it's not, like, a weak, like, remember old Coastal Scents, like, old school 2012 shimmers. These are like more updated, beautiful satin shimmers. Then we have the Where the Mangoes palette. So this is a fun tropical palette, a tropical rainbow palette. Now, you don't technically have like a purple. You do have like this kind of berry red and this kind of wine color, but you could mix with these blues. So I still consider this a rainbow palette, even though we're technically missing one of the shades of the rainbow, but there's enough in here. There's some beautiful greens. Obviously, I'm drawn to that. I did use a couple of shades out of here for the look today. And so this is a really gorgeous look. And again, I love these tropicals and brights. Sometimes brights can be a little tricky because you need to use a lot of white pigment, and that can make a shadow hard to blend. I find this whole palette easy to blend. It's fun to work with. It's really beautiful. And finally, for the big palettes, we have this picture frame palette. Now, I've talked about this before, but I didn't have a picture I wanted to put in here. So this is actually a little collector postcard when A24 and Half Magic Beauty did their Maxine collection. So this is from the movie Maxine, where she goes to try out for the horror film. I love that trilogy. I think Ty West is someone to watch in the horror genre, so I'm very excited to see what else he comes up with. But so I thought that would be a fun little thing because this does function as a picture frame, and the back actually has a little piece that you can pull out if you want to use it as a picture frame in between uses in your makeup routine. And here's the collection of shades. Now, for this look, I definitely used this navy blue, and I used this red, I used this blue shimmer. I love these colors. You know, there's even kind of a sort of a dark teal. Anytime there's a green, I'm happy about it. So this is a pretty nice color story. This is a little bit less diverse, a little bit less versatile than some of the other ones that we saw. This one is a little bit more limited, but I still like this, and the quality is still really good. Now I have 2 mini palettes, and these have another kind of packaging that we're going to see throughout this video a few times. A few too many times, because what the fuck is this? This horrible M packaging. I get it. His name is Mitchell. It's made by Mitchell. He wanted to use an initial, but why did he have to use this font with this weird tail on the end of the M? And he uses this packaging a lot. So you're going to see it several times. I hate it. It makes me viscerally angry every time I have to touch it. In fact, again, spoiler alert to the reviews at the end, these rank lower than the other eyeshadow palettes just because of how much I hate this. And not only just the shape of the packaging, but the shape of the pans. These 4 like weird different sized pans. So I don't know if they're designed in a way where you get the same amount of product or if they're all just different sizes. I don't know. I'm too tired. I look at this and I'm too tired to even check. And like, he doesn't even know what to do with this little tail, so he just puts a little made by Mitchell. And it's like, oh, so you're the one to blame. Thank you for at least pointing that out. On some of these, the hinge is a little bit delicate. And so this packaging is just not well designed. And unfortunately, it's going to pop up again. And then here's the green version. They're beautiful colors. The shadows perform just as well as the other palettes, but this packaging is just hateful. There's this little nubbin that contributes nothing. Again, this little... And we're gonna see it again. And again. And again. These are a more recent acquisition. These were part of a little collection of bundles called Bits and Bobs. And these are the quad pods. Now, I have played around with these. I haven't used them in full looks, but I've swatched and kind of mixed them. Sometimes I just have little playtime where I just mix things together and play with them. And I have like one of those little silicone face things that I can paint on and stuff. And so generally they feel like they're pretty close to the quality of the other ones, but these are just little quads. This is a little all matte quad. We've got some pastels and a couple of neutrals. And then we've got some shimmers. These are a little bit more jewel toned. These are okay. They're not as good as the other ones, and especially the color selection. These are like little accent things if you want to grab one of these to like add into another palette, or maybe a palette is missing a shade or two that you want that's in one of these pods. But if you didn't buy the little bundles, you couldn't get these anyway, and so it's not anything that I would really recommend, and I wouldn't buy the bundles just for these. If you're looking at the Bits and Bobs bundles, if this is what you were looking at, I'd maybe think about it. Also from the Bits and Bobs collection, we have these crayons. I don't love chubby eyeshadow crayons, and these are not fantastic. They're okay, but they're a little bit sheer. You could kind of lay them down as a base and put a shadow over them, but they're not a super opaque base. They're okay, they're just not great. So there are the swatches. You can see it's not terrible, but it's not like a really great opaque base. And if you were using it to build in a look, it's not really a gorgeous... They're just okay. They're fine. So there you can see it's not great, but it's not terrible. It's not the best eyeshadow base, but if you're going to put powder over it, it does give you a little bit of base color. They're just not that impressive. I'm never that impressed with eyeshadow crayons, and there's nothing about this to change my mind. Now, in the same vein as eyeshadow, you could use these to create an eye look. You could use them as eyeshadow bases. You could actually blend these out and use them as like foundations or concealers to create like a colorful, interesting avant-garde kind of look. These are the color cases. These are like thick cream color bases that you can use for a variety of different applications. So this is the Brights collection, and I think you can see, especially, I've played with all of these, but especially this orange one. If you saw my yellow foundation video, I'll link that for you right here in case you missed it. I used this orange as part of like the contour and the blush, and it worked really, really well. These are really beautiful. And then we have the pastels collection. So this is beautiful cream pastel. You could create beautiful, beautiful looks with this. You could create an Easter look, springtime. This is really gorgeous. These are really fun to play with. Now, somehow, in my purchasing of bundles and various Made by Mitchell products, I have ended up with 7 mini-size liquid eyeshadows. We all know I don't love liquid eyeshadows. It's never a formula that I love. They're like toppers. Toppers to me just means shitty eyeshadow. Like, I don't think that's a thing, really. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. So these are fine. I did use one of these. I used this kind of pinky colored one. The sticker has come off. Again, the stickers go everywhere. These are especially bad, the little bottles. Half of these 3 are all missing the stickers. And so I don't know what shade this is, but I used it on the inner part next to the red and then going into that blue. And I think it looks pretty, and I think it worked in that small little application. It blended out really well with a brush. But I don't love liquid eyeshadows. I don't love these any more than I love other ones. Now let's talk about a few random eyeliners. I have 2 liquid pen liners, and I really like these. These are the Make a Mark liquid liner in Seafoam and Rose Petal. These are really, really good. This is a nice liquid. The little like pen tip is really precise. The liquid flows through it really well. I haven't had any issues. I really, really like these, and I think they're a beautiful shimmery finish. These are gorgeous. Now, this is one of the Graph Ink liners. This is a liquid liner, but this is a brush tip. These are good. I know some people prefer brush tip over pen tip every time. I actually like the tip on the pen tip better. This is okay, but I find this harder to control. It's not the best brush that I've ever had in a liner. I like the colors. They've got a lot of selection of fun colors, but and this green is really cute, but I don't like it as well as I like the pen tip. And then we have one of these all smudge no budge pencils. This I just got like a nudie color. Sometimes I like to do a nude peach just right in the waterline. I bought this, I don't know why. I think I wanted to give it a second chance because there was a Worst of Beauty video that I did a couple of years ago. You can find that linked right here in case you wanted to watch it and see the worst of the worst. But I had a blue one of these and it dried up within a month of me having it and opening it. It was garbage. I was so mad. This one I've had for a few months. It's still good. I don't know if I just got a bad one of the blue liner. I don't know if it was the formula of that blue color, but I was really mad and I was really put off to these pencils. And then when I was like, you know what? I'm trying to do a full brand review. I should have like a full range of products. I was like, well, I can get this one because I can use that in the waterline, and if it does dry out and it gets gross right away, I can report on it, and at least I haven't like lost something that I wanted to create a really creative look, and then I go to use it and it's trash. So I'm a little bit excited that at least this is still good after a couple of months, because that blue one, it was seriously within like a month. It was completely dried out and just like fell out of the pencil. It was terrible. Now, some idiot decided to pack the eye products and the lip products together. Me! So let's skip ahead to lip products because they're unpacked here on my desk, and so let's just go ahead and start looking at them. Now, I feel like Made by Mitchell, at least from what I've seen, again, I'm not shopping on his website. I've been shopping through Beauty Bay. Occasionally, I'll look at things that are popping up on the TikTok shop, but I feel like the lip products are a little bit more random. There's not as much color variation. I feel like there's a lot of nudes. And so I have kind of a weird smattering of lip products. But let's go ahead and take a look at what I have tried out. For bullet lipsticks, I have 4. 2 Mattitude matte lipsticks and 2 Scream Stick cream lipsticks that are more of a lightly glossy, creamy finish. Alright, so these 2 are the Mattitude, and that whole line was all neutrals. It was all beige, brown, peach, beige Becky bullshit. It was all neutral. These 2, the Scream Sticks, came in the Bits and Bob bundles, and so I picked those up mainly because they had a little bit more color. There was this pink and this kind of corally peach. Still very light, very neutral, especially that more peachy one. The pink is the only one that really breaks out into a more colorful shade. But I do like both of these. I think I like the formula of the Mattitude a little bit better. I like that matte lipstick formula. It's not uncomfortable to wear. These are a little bit slicker, a little bit glossier than I would like, but I like that they had a better color selection. Then we have this little beam gloss. This is in the shade Cream Dream. This, I thought, oh, I can put this over the lipstick, and it's fine. It's one of those that's not glittery, it's not shimmery. It's like a milky gloss, and I don't know, I try to love them. I try them in different colors, but milky glosses, I'm so sorry if you're a texture person or if you're just going to be creeped out by this, but it's just jizzy lips. Like, it's just jizzy lips. I can't help it. Milky glosses are jizzy lips, so I don't love this at all. The peachy color doesn't help. It's sort of a flesh tone. For like a pasty bitch like me, but like, it's not great. It's not great. I don't love jizzy lips. What I do love are glittery, shimmery lips. So these are the Beam Sugared glosses. These 2 came in the Bits and Bobs bundles, but the other ones are just random shades. I do like these. I'm not a huge gloss person, but For shows, it doesn't really work for me because I have to have a lip that's going to stay on. But now that I'm filming YouTube and I'm filming TikToks and I have more time to do touch-ups and little things like that, I've been loving Oopy Goopy lips and I've been loving glosses. And these have a nice glitter to them. I'm wearing one today. I think they're really pretty. They have a nice, simple smell to them and they work really well. So my preference for lip products is always going to be liquid lipstick. I love them. And this is where I have some bad news for you. These are the Modern Melt liquid lipsticks. This is in To Peach Their Own. This is in Be My Ruby. These are kind of trash. I'm wearing the To Peach Your Own as kind of a base under the gloss for this lip look. I got it to work. I don't love these. And the reason why is because of the tip. Just the tip. I've heard that before. There's something about this weird little ball tip that is so hard to use. First of all, if you've got any foundation or anything on your lip, I always try to wipe it off before I do my lips, but sometimes I forget. It gets gunked up. And then to keep the liquid flowing, it needs to be like vertical. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not like painting. I'm not looking at the ceiling to paint my lips or like trying to go in vertically and also look at a mirror. Like, this is terrible. This is terrible. It wears fine, but getting it on is such a hateful process that I have no desire to own any more of these. I would love it if he would do more liquid lipsticks because when I wear these, I generally like how the formula wears, but getting them on is just terrible and I don't want to do it. I hate it. Then for liners, I have 2 wood pencil liners and 1 mechanical liner. I think the liners are fine. They're not standouts. They're not super fantastic, but they're okay and they haven't dried out, so I love that. I don't know, that blue liner must have just been an outlier and it just didn't work right. It didn't work the way I wanted it to and I was really disappointed, but these other ones have not let me down. I've generally enjoyed them. This one is Glad You're Here, this mechanical liner, and that is the brown that I have on my lips today. And this, when I was doing the eye products, there was actually a little cream shadow that I forgot to pick up and tell you about. This is a little cream shadow pot. It's Peach Dusk. It's a pretty color. It's got a nice shimmer. This, again, is a nice... If you like taking a cream shadow and just like finger banging it on your eye, getting a like one color look, or maybe taking a powder to like darken up the outer corner, these are nice for a simple makeup look. For a big drag extravaganza like this, it's not really best suited for that, but it is nice, it works, and the more simple your sort of makeup application and your routine, the more you just want kind of like a blown out wash of color, the more you're probably gonna like these little pots. Now there's a couple of new lip products in my collection that I haven't had a chance to play with, so I'm not gonna be rating them. Made by Mitchell has been in Ulta online for a little while, but recently they also started showing up in stores. So I took a trip down to Fargo and I picked up a few things. Some of the things that I picked up are color expansions of things that I already have, or I've had a chance to use them. These 2 things I haven't really had a chance to play with, so I didn't want to rank them, but I wanted to include them in the overall review. This is the Lip Frost Intense Lip Balm. This is pretty good from what I've seen so far. I've been using this on my lips. It feels very oily. If you don't like, it's not a true balm. It's definitely more of like it melts down to an oil. If you don't like that, you're probably not going to like this. It also is in a ridiculous huge tub. And the tub is much smaller than this packaging. It's kind of a waste of plastic, but you can take the little tub part out. So when this is done, I'm going to use it to store like beads and other little crafty things. So they are recyclable and reusable, and you get more storage out of it once you take the actual tub that the lip balm is in. But it's not my favorite formula, but I have been liking this. It is very nourishing. It's just a little oilier than I typically like my balms. And then this is the Bare Sparkle. This is like a lip oil gloss. This is in a beautiful peachy color. Maybe I'll put some of this on at the end of the video. We can just try it out live in the video and see how it is. But these are new products that I've picked up at Ulta, and I didn't necessarily want to rank them. I'm going to talk about them a little bit more, but I haven't had as much playtime with these. Now let's move to cheek products. Another thing that I picked up in the Ulta launch, and I have had a chance to play with this a little bit, is the Curve Case Pressed. And this is, if you've seen their curve cases, like the color cases that we had earlier that had the cream color bases, the curve cases are usually like blushes and highlights. These are like that, but instead of cream, it's powder. So these are all powder bronzers and blushers. I did use this in my look for today, and I've played with this a little bit. I do generally like it, but it is still pretty new to my collection. But there's a lot more blush. Let's get into it. So much blush. So the first one, let's get the bad news out of the way. This is the Slip Dew. This is technically a cream highlighter, but I'm including it in the blush section because the shade that I picked is definitely, for me, way too dark to be a highlighter. This is a peach shade. These are just too greasy. These are like Vaseline with glitter in them. They are hard to work with. If you are a heavy foundation wearer like I am, they'll move your foundation around. This might be good if somebody doesn't mind their skin being a little sticky, and if they don't wear foundation. If you're somebody who just pats on a little bit of like a cream or liquid blush and is out the door, you could maybe get used to this and blend it out enough that it's not too sticky. I thought this was horrendous to work with, so I don't love it. But their powder blushes, that's a different story. These are the Blursh pods. So remember we saw that bronzer pod earlier? These are the same thing. These are like a baked formula. They're going to be that domed, very soft, silky formula, beautiful to work with, but very pigmented. You can sheer them out, you can go on light, or you can go heavy. They have a beautiful pigmentation, and they really work for a very intense look or for a lighter, washed out look. This is the shade Truly Scrumptious, the shade Highly Seasoned, and Sprinkles of Joy. When Made by Mitchell launched in Ulta, I also picked up Vanilla Sponge and Lychee Martini. So those are all great. Those are that nice silky formula. If you've tried like baked blushes like that, you know that they can be really soft and very silky to the skin. They're so beautiful. But I love a bunch of the powder products. There are also these little blush books that are adorable and give you a fantastic little coordinated collection. Grow Your Peach is the blush book that I used for today's look. And I actually used all 4 shades in this blush book as part of this. Look for the Get Ratchet With Me coming very soon as well. I can't say exactly when, but coming very soon. And I used all 4 of these as part of the look that we did. There's a lot of blush on this cheek today. We've also got Atlas of Anatomy, which has a mix of pinky shades with a little bit of peach mixed in, and Living in Pink. Surprise, it's shades of pink. So the powder blushes are great, but of course, Made by Mitchell, when he first launched, it was all about the liquid blush. A whole little bag of blush. I'm going to link this video for you if you want to see when I created a beautiful yellow and orange blush look. But I used a bunch of shades from Made by Mitchell. So these are all like orange, yellow shades, and I love these. That look was phenomenal, and I have a whole playlist of all of my Made by Mitchell content, so you can find it there as well. But I'll make sure it's in the cards and linked below. But these are the orangey yellow shades that I have, and that one. And a red and a pink. So we have some beautiful, these are really great. Like I said, if you struggle with liquid blush the way that I did, that turquoise sponge from Real Techniques changed the game for me. So if you have a couple of these and you're not having any luck using it, try one of those sponges and see if that helps, because it really did make them usable for me. And then I've got 4 of the Blush Balms. Now, I was not a big fan of these. Like I said, these are a little bit more balmy, but I haven't tried these since I tried these with a wet sponge. So I usually don't blend out creams like this with like a sponge. I'll like put it on, and sometimes I'll use like a dry sponge, but using a wet sponge really kind of changed with the bronzer. So I'm going to play with these a little bit more. I might have been a little bit too harsh to start, but just expect that these are not your typical cream blush. They do have a little bit thicker, waxier of a balmy kind of texture. I don't love it, but I'm hoping that a wet sponge, kind of like with the bronzer, will help me transform it. Because these are beautiful colors. I would like to get more use out of these, but I don't know. I just can't. Not the way they are now. And for the last of the blushes, we have these 3 monstrosities. These powder blushes. I like the powder blushes, but I hate this packaging. This is the shade Giving Face, which is a gorgeous, like, neon popsicle red. You can kind of see there's some texture in here. These do get a weird kind of hard pan, I find, but I love this color, and this color of red blush in particular is so hard to find. Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics had a lip tar called Harlot that was described as neon popsicle red, and I am searching for that in every formula eyes, lips, face, everything ever since then. And this is Harlot from OCC, this shade. And so even though it's a little bit temperamental, I do really, really love it. And we have the shade Bananarama, which is some more yellow. And When I'm Gone, which is an electric peach. I love this. It's wild and it's crazy. I used a little bit in this look today, and this is a fun one. I love neon blush color. And that was the end of the blush. Now we are going to move into highlighter. Now for highlighter, again, let's get the bad news out of the way first.
Fly me to the moon.
This is the Comet case, and this is kind of trash. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If you are an oily beast, this is not for you. Maybe if you are dry as a mummy's dick, as Teresa's Dead would say, you might love this. But these highlighters are Vaseline with glitter in it. I mean, these are so greasy. If you are an oily beast like me, these are not for you. These will just puddle and slide around, and they look pretty in the pan. They don't look pretty on, I don't think. So you can see from those swatches, the pigmentation is really just loose in there. They're so oily feeling. I just don't love them. Maybe there's some way to use that. Again, I think if you are a simple tap a little bit on bare skin before you go out the house. If you're not really a foundation wearer, these might be great for you. If you have really dry skin and you don't wear foundation, this might be a great product for you, but I don't get it. It does not work for what I'm doing. If I try to put it on, it just pulls up the makeup underneath it. I've tried with my little Real Technique sponge, the little turquoise one. I've tried with a finger. Nothing works for me in a way that doesn't F up my makeup. So I don't like it. I'm not here for it. And filing under hate the package, love the product, we have more of these god-awful M's, but these are beautiful highlighter duos. So these are pressed powder highlighters. I have 5 of them. These are really gorgeous colors, and I have a couple of them worked into this cheek as well. Again, look for that Get Ratchet With Me coming in the next week or so. These are really, really pretty. So this is one of the shades Sweet Tooth, Outnumbered, Peach Pockets, Dripped in Ice. If you're looking for a pearly white highlighter, this is really gorgeous. I know that things will look pearly white and then they shift a little pink or a little blue. This is a pearl white highlighter. And for my plum girlies, give me some space. Now, not only is this the hateful Made by Mitchell M packaging, but there's something about these in particular. With the blushes, I can easily turn the cover over and fold it under. For these, there's something about the paper that they used or the way that they jointed it. Almost all of mine like immediately broke and started to rip. There's a couple of these that are barely hanging on and they just look really messy. So that's yet another knock against this already terrible packaging, because this happened to all 5 of these. And to round out the highlighters, more liquid blush. We have some peachy pinky shades, some really pink as well as a pinky purple. And you know I had to buy the green. The goddamn sticker fell off, so I can't even tell you what the color is called. But it's green. So those, just like the liquid blushes, once I got that Real Technique sponge, they really worked beautifully. They blend out lovely. They are glittery and beautiful. They're not an overwhelming glitter, but they definitely have a glittery quality to them. I think that the highlighters are some of my favorite things from his line. I just think they're really, really great. Now, Made by Mitchell is also known for their brush sets. I have several of the brush sets. I got several loose brushes in the Bits and Bobs collection. Those were a little bit more decorated. They have these kind of 60s, colorful, psychedelic kind of patterns on them, which I think is really fun. I've been loving playing with these. I do like his brushes. They're synthetics, and they're a pretty good synthetic. Are they as good as like Singe brushes? Absolutely not. Are they as good as the brushes I've gotten from like Artitude Cosmetics? No. But they are a pretty good synthetic. They're not my favorite, but they are enough of an enhanced synthetic fiber that it's not just like shiny, gross plastic. They are a better brush than that, but they're not like top of the line synthetic. They're good, they work, and you can usually get for like $40, you can get a full like big set that's got some face brushes and some eye brushes, and they generally look good. They're cute, they're fun, they're functional. It's kind of what you need in a brush. They're nothing to write home about, but they are pretty serviceable. Now we've got 2 miscellaneous products to finish out this all brand review, and then we'll get into the rankings. And this really is like...
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
The first one is the Liquid Lock Finishing Spray. And this, if you can tell, is empty. I like this enough that I used this up. This was really good. I did like this. I used it to wet the brush if I was trying to foil shadows. It was great for that. It was great for setting my makeup. I took this to Pride when I performed, and it was ridiculously hot. It was so stupid hot in Fargo last year, and so it held my makeup on during that. This was really good. I would repurchase this again. I love this. I thought it was really great. Now let's talk about the worst Made by Mitchell product ever. The Shine Slime. This is horrible. This is a body gel highlighter. What the actual fuck? Now, if you're looking at this, you're like, what are you talking about, Janessa? This looks beautiful. And in the bottle, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Which is how I ended up with 3 of these fucking things. Because they look beautiful in the bottle, and I had so much hope. But they are so greasy and sticky. This, I have never used this where it has ever dried down and just set. I thought this would be great because I for shows, am always running a little bit late, and I'm usually getting ready and I have a t-shirt on, and so sometimes I forget to paint my décolleté area, and so I thought, well, if I could just put this on, I'll slather it on, and then at least I've got some glitter, so you're not just looking at a not very well-shaved chest. So I was like, let's just slap it on, that will be great. This is sticky and greasy and gross, and I hate it. The only thing that I can recommend is it does smell nice. It's got kind of like a strawberry candy smell. So when I squeeze it out, it's all pretty and pink, but then as I start to like rub it, oh God, it feels so gross. You lose so much of that color, and you lose so much of the glitter. It just looks like I've rubbed slightly pink chicken grease on my arm. And you can see that all 3 of them do that. So there is a little bit of glitter in some of them, but it doesn't look the way that it looks in the bottle. So this one, Mermaid Scales, you get a little bit more of the glitter with this one. This has a little bit more impact. But again, you have to feel greasy and sticky, and it never dries down. I've never gotten it to dry down. I don't know if it's supposed to. If other people are saying that it does, I cannot confirm. It has never dried down for me, and it just feels greasy and sticky. And this also just kind of, with that pink base, it doesn't look like something that's supposed to be pink. It looks that I spilled something pink on me. Like, it's just not pretty. I don't get it. They smell nice. They look beautiful in the bottle. If you wanted one of these to put on your shelf and look gorgeous, you know what? This is a great trinket. I don't think they're super expensive, so you could have one just to look beautiful, but it's never going to look that beautiful on your skin. It's just not. All right, so now we're going to rank these. I've given you little tastes of my feelings as we go through, but we have 4 categories. The first one is great. The things that are great are things that I recommend without hesitation. They're not only just like good, solid products, they're the ones that I've had like joy using. Like, they're such fun to use. They're really wonderful, and they are like go-to products. So not just that they're good, I have them in my collection and I know that I can rely on them, but like, when I'm thinking about all of my collection, I still am like, oh, I want to grab that. I want to use that. Then there's good. Those are the solid products. I have no problem recommending those. For me, with my oily skin, my mature skin, I haven't had any problems. I like them. They perform. They do what I need. They're solid. Then we have meh. It's fine. These are maybe things that are okay. If you have a very specific taste, these might be fantastic for you. But for me and my preferences and how I do my makeup, I don't love them. So we're going to go in and we're going to start with great. First up are the 3 large eyeshadow palettes. I think these are great. I love the formula. The shimmers are really good. I know they're more of like a satiny shimmer. Some have a little bit more metallicness to them, but they are just really beautiful. These are lovely to use. I think the color stories are fun. I think the color stories are well thought out. I love that they are symmetrical, even, beautiful pans. Foreshadowing. And so I just love these, and I think they're such fun to work with. This look came together with shades from all 3 of these palettes. Also great, the powder blush books. These are fantastic. They give you a little wardrobe of 4 blushes that are coordinated. You can use a single blush to just get a nice wash of color. You can blend them together. They all pair nicely. The color selections are really thoughtful and very beautiful. And the powder blush selection, I think, is really gorgeous. So the Blush pressed blush books are absolutely great. These powder duo highlighters, also great. I wanted to knock them down. I really wanted to knock them down one because this M packaging is so frustrating and so ugly and so awful. I'm so sorry. I don't think Mitchell is ever going to see this. If he ever does, I'm so sorry that I've trashed your packaging, but this M packaging is ridiculous. It's hard to use. It's hard to store. Please stop. This is your intervention. We love you and we don't want you to hurt yourself anymore by doing this awful packaging because these highlighter powders are beautiful. They are so gorgeous. These literally are some of my favorite of all these products. You've seen how many Made by Mitchell products I have. These are absolutely some of my favorites. These are so gorgeous. Also great. The Beam Sugared Glosses. I love these. These are great. There's a green one that always works in its favor. But I love these. These are great glosses. They go on. They're not super sticky. They're not that honeyed texture that some glosses have. I think they're beautiful. I think they could be in a wider range of colors, but I don't know if maybe on the website there are more. A lot of mine are very peachy, very orange. I've got this green, and then we've got these kind of white base that have like a champagne, pearl, golden kind of tone. So I would love to see even more like range of these, but these are really good. The Make a Mark pen eyeliner. These are beautiful. The metallic is so shiny. So whatever color you see on the outside, it's that but metallic, and these are so gorgeous, so pretty. I have used these, especially the Seafoam, a couple times with my colorful brows. If I feel like it's a little bit muddy on the edge, I'll draw like the line around them, and it's so pretty. I absolutely love these. I think these are great. The color cases, really great. If you like avant-garde colorful looks, you can use these as foundations, concealers. You can do interesting blush colors with these. You can use them as color bases to set up your eyeshadow look. These are really phenomenal. I know there's like a concealer set. There was like a gray tone set. He's done a lot of these, and they kind of go in and out of stock. With his stuff, I'm never really sure. I don't know that you're going to be able to buy any of these. I don't know if you have any of these in your collection. It's just as you're looking out, you can look for similar products. Because like I said, I don't know if these are currently available or will be available. These are really fantastic. If you love working with colorful makeup, these are a lot of fun to play with. And then our final product in the great category, we have the Glow Goo Primer. I think this is really fun. This came in a few different shades. I just tried the one. If I can get them through Beauty Bay, if I see it in the TikTok shop, because again, ordering through his website, the taxes were just too ridiculous, but I would try other colors in this because I like it. It's not as intense as something like the Glow Lust, the Hollywood Flawless filter, but if you want something that just adds a little bit of a sparkly, very subtle, shimmery kind of glow into your foundation, if you want to wear it under it to have like a little bit of a fresh glow, I think that this is really, really good. But now we're done with really good and talking about just good. So in the good category, we have the 2 mini palettes. I'm sorry, the eyeshadows in here are pretty much the same quality. I had to knock these down just because I really do hate this packaging so much. I hate it so much. It's hard to store. These are awkward in drawers. I sometimes don't mind ridiculous packaging. I don't mind big packaging. I don't even mind sometimes odd shapes, but when it's this kind of like puzzle piece bullshit, these are so weird, and I do like the colors. I think the color selections are nice, but I don't know. I just don't know if you can get a full look, even for someone like me who's like big and Technicolor. I don't know how useful these are. They're good, they're solid. The formula is fun to work with. I do like it, but a mini palette is a bit of a stretch for me because it is only 4 shades, and this packaging really does kind of annoy me. So I had to mark it down to good. Like I said earlier, good is still a solid product. It's just not the ones that I have the most fun reaching for. Also good, the powder blush singles. Now these, again, it's the packaging that knocks it down. Also, these are good and not great just because, you know, when I showed that other one, it does get that weird little bit of like hard pan as you're using it. I don't use these with a finger, so none of my finger oils are getting in there. It's just with a brush. They still get that weird hardening in parts of the pan. So it's not the best, but I do really like these, and I like the colors. I didn't go with just regular blush colors when I ordered these. I got a bright electric yellow, I got an electric peach, and I got neon red. So I love that I was able to get some fun, unique blush colors to my collection. If I want an electric peach, I know I can go right here. I don't have to look around through my other blushes. Also in the good, we've got a lot of them. The Liquid Blush Highlight and the Liquid Blush. The liquid blushes and highlighters from Made by Mitchell are really good. If you're struggling with them, I say this over and over again. I know I'm a broken record. Try the turquoise Real Technique sponge because that really changed the game for me. I hated these and I could not get them to work until I tried that sponge. Try a sponge that's a little bit looser, more porous, and it really helped me blend them out. And now I think they are beautiful. I think they are stunning. They work so well and I absolutely love them. They blend together beautifully. You can use a whole bunch of them to create a blush gradient that is really beautiful. I'm a convert. I love blush. The Build Foundation, also very good. This probably would have been great if it came with a pump. It's that dumb doe foot, and it's a big, chunky doe foot. If you love a doe foot foundation, can go for it. Live your best life. I'm happy for you. That's your journey. It's not mine. I don't love a doe foot, but these are generally pretty good. Now, shade matching online, I felt like his shade matching was a little bit hard to work with. Shade matching was a little tough, so I had to buy a couple and like blend them together. There is a white option which you can use to change the shade. I really did like this. I think it's a good, solid foundation product. Even if you wanted to depot it and put it into something with a pump, or if you don't mind the doe foot, go for it. I think this foundation performs really well. I mean, check the material. She's looking real cute today, and the skin is snatched. Staying in the complexion arena, also good are the Brighten Concealer and the Liquid Blush Bronzer. I think both of these are really, really good. I think they're good, solid products. Like I said, I've used this not only with the Made by Mitchell foundation, but with other foundations. I liked it with all of them. I've never been a big cheerleader for any concealer, but this gets close. This was pretty good. I liked it. It's solid. I thought this was really good. It blends out well. This one I got a pretty light shade, so I can really only use this if I'm doing like a filming day or I'm doing like a photo shoot or something close up. This would be way too light for a show day, but I am interested enough to maybe try to buy a couple darker shades and see how they work as well when I'm doing my full like paint for the back row show makeup. Setting spray, obviously loved it. Used the whole thing. Would purchase again. Can't complain about that. This was a really good setting spray. The All Lip No Trip pencil is really good. This is the mechanical pencil. I did really like it. I used it today. I think this is fun. The mechanical ones, I don't mind a wooden pencil. I don't mind sharpening a pencil, but I'm always losing sharpeners, so being able to have one that I can just twist up. Sometimes the tip isn't as precise as I would like, but I do really like this pencil. Good and solid are the Made by Mitchell brush sets. I think they're great, and with the Bits and Bobs bundle collections that they were selling, I added a bunch of new colorful fun brushes. These are just as good as the regular brush sets. I think they're pretty good. Like I said, they're not the best synthetic. I'm not going to put them into the great category. I think there are other better synthetic fiber brushes out there, but these are cute. They're functional. They're not that expensive. I do really enjoy his brush sets. Now, the final product in the good category, these are the Scream Stick lipsticks. Now, I know I said that I liked the Mattitude a little bit better, but those, if he would release more colors, I think that they could be great. But they are very nude. They're very beige Becky bullshit. These at least had some interesting colors. I do like this. I liked it enough to put it into the good, solid category. And I did like that these came in a couple different colors. And if he has a wider color range, these would be a good option if you like a lipstick that's got a little bit of a shine, a little bit of gloss to it naturally. Isn't necessarily like a goopy glossy, but just has a nice like subtle gloss, a nice subtle shine. These are really good lipsticks. I think they're a great option. Now we're moving into the category of meh, it's fine. These are products that they're not necessarily bad. Sometimes there's something specific about the product that knocks it down, but they're not necessarily something that I would like Heartily recommend. All of the previous products, if you had a chance to get them, if you were thinking about them, I would say, you know what, I think they're a good investment. I think they're worth your makeup budget. These, it really depends. If it's a type of product you really love, maybe we just have different tastes. But if you're thinking about it and you're not sure if you like that kind of product, I don't know if they're going to be great for you. The first one, no surprise. These are the foil film liquid eyeshadows. I don't love liquid eyeshadows. I don't think it's a fun formula to work with. I don't do just an easy breezy beautiful wash of color and go out the door. I'm an industrial application. These are fine. I did use one in this look and I thought it was beautiful. These do work fairly well for like a lipstick topper. I still prefer the Trixie, those liquid eyeshadows, but these will work okay. So I do use it for that from time to time. But in terms of what it's designed for, it's okay. It's not great. So I'm questioning my sanity a little bit because I wrote this list a long time ago, and the next item on the meh list is the Blursh Pods. I don't know what made me put these into the meh category and not the good category. I do like these. Now, are these my favorite of the blush products? No. I like the blush books better. I think I even like the liquid blushes better, but these are nice. These are a nice silky formula. I don't know if maybe I just bought weird colors and so that like put my thinking off. We're going to elevate these up to good. I actually think these are really good. If you like a silky, soft blush formula. Now, I think for some of these colors, especially the darker ones, you have to go in really light unless you want pigment. Like these are pigmented. So maybe that's what it was. I thought they would be a little tough to use. I don't know why I put them in meh. I should have reviewed this list a little closer. I'm still agreeing with almost everything, but these are good. I'm going to elevate these to good instead of meh. So sorry about that. She's a mess. There's no adults steering this ship. Now, I definitely knew what I was doing when I put these on the meh list. These are the Blursh Balm Sticks. I don't like these. They're too waxy. They're a little bit too thick. For a cream blush, I want it to be creamy. I want it to be blendable. Like I said, I did try the bronzer one today with a big wet like body sponge, and I liked it better. It worked better than they usually did. So maybe I need to give these another try with that and try like a wet sponge and a really large sponge, because I used a big body sponge, not just a regular little sponge. That might have made a difference. But otherwise, I think these are meh. I think they're just too thick. They're too balmy. They just stay a little bit sticky. I don't love these. So I'm going to keep working with them. I'm going to keep trying. I'm not ready to declutter all of these, but stay tuned for my declutter to see how many of them actually stay. Same goes for the Blursh Bronzer Balm Stick. I am glad that I found a way to use this and get a little bit better results, but I still think that this is meh. It's not great. It's just too thick. The formula is too thick for me. If you like something a little bit thicker like that, a little bit balmier, I mean, go for it. I love it. Again, that's your journey. It's not mine. But I've tried a lot of cream sticks, and this one is just not the top of the line. Then we have the Blur Primer. I wanted to love this, and the finish looks really beautiful, but it's an oily, greasy mess. And if it accidentally falls over somewhere, or if you have it with other products that are stored in a drawer laying down, I mean, I had to take out everything from that drawer and wipe it all down because it got all over the place. It was really disgusting. We showed it earlier where it's kind of separated and it's got this oily layer. I wanted to love this. I really did, and it is a doe foot, so you can go in there and kind of stir it up, but I don't know that it's worth the trouble for what you get. I like the look, but especially once I tried that Goo Gone primer, or whatever it's called, the like glow goo, grow goo, like Baby Yoda. Once I tried that, I was like, I don't know if I even need to go back to this. I think this is supposed to be closer to like the Hollywood Flawless Filter or the Too Faced, the new Born This Way illuminating primer, but it's too oily, it's too greasy. I've got those other options. I don't need this. This probably even could have been knocked down to like the what the fuck category now, that because it didn't even look this bad the last time I looked at it. So now seeing it separated, I really don't recommend this unless you like greasy shit all over your makeup. Next, we have the Bronze Pod. I'm going to stick with keeping this in meh. I know I just elevated the blushes, but I think that's because all of these have some shimmer to it. I don't mind sometimes having some shimmer in like a contour product. This is light enough I could use it as like a highlighter. I think that's why I ordered it. This is a nice silky baked formula, but I just think it's too shimmery for like a real bronzer. If you like a really shimmery bronzer, I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to make it really work. It's a beautiful product, and if you've got a plan for it, I think you could love it. This is one of those that if it's like tailored to your taste, it could be great. But if you're not sure, and if you haven't worked with products like this, and if you've never tried shimmery bronzer, I don't know if this is where I'd start. Then we have the mini color case, the color corrector. These are beautiful, and I do like that you get 2 pinks and you get 2 greens. The reason why this is in matte is it's too pigmented. I want the concealer to be this pigmented, but with color correcting, you're not trying to paint yourself a new color. If you have pinkish red tones in your skin that you're trying to cover up, the answer is just not to turn yourself into the fucking Jolly Green Giant. Like, that's not what you do. You use green because it's opposite of red on the color wheel, but it needs to be sheer and light and soft enough that it becomes neutral. It just looks like neutral skin. It gets kind of this like white beige kind of color where it looks more like your skin. For me, it looks whitey beige because I'm whitey beige, but it's meant to look more neutral. You just want it to look like a neutral blocked out color. You don't want it to look green, and these, even when you blend them out, still look really green. Can you tell that this was in the drawer with the Blur primer? I'm telling you, it got on everything. For lip products, we have the Mattitude lipsticks and the Beam Gloss. Now, the reason why these, it's just because the colors, I like the matte finish. I like that. But they're so nude. They're so just like beige, brown, Becky bullshit. They were kind of boring. I did like the finish, but I would like to see it in like lipstick colors. I felt like I was putting concealer sticks on my lips with these. And I know that like the whole range just looked like concealer colors. And I don't do that like early 2000s concealer lips. I'm not here for it. I know that I always say I do the Chola lip with the dark brown and then the like light colored lipstick, but I like a little bit of color. I don't just want concealer lips. And this Beam Gloss. This is here because Jizzy lips. I don't want Jizzy lips. I don't want a milky gloss. I was hoping that this would be more pigmented and it would be something that would look like a liquefied lipstick. It just looks like Jizzy lips, so it's not for me. Also in meh, the other liner products. The Graph Ink, this one with the brush, it's fine, but the brush doesn't have enough control. It's not precise enough. It's too loose. It kind of gets all over, and the formula is a little bit watery. So those two things combined, if you want like a sharp drawn-on wing, it's really hard to do. I'm not great with liquid liner anyway, and so I really had trouble with this. If you're a beginner, maybe if you're more advanced, you can tame this beast, but I didn't like it. These lip liners and this, well, this is a lip liner, this is an eyeliner. These were fine, but they just... Again, I'm worried because of that blue pencil that dried out right away. I'm glad that these are still seeming to be okay right now, but they're still in the meh. I have so many good pencils that I love. The Singe Beauty pencils, the evocative pencils, they're so good. Bella Beauté Bar, Unearthly Cosmetics. There's so many other brands that have better pencils and have better color ranges that these just are in meh. I wouldn't recommend these. So these are fairly new to my collection. I've played around with them a little bit. Maybe I'll change my opinion as I go, but for right now, these are in meh, and they are from the Bits and Bobs bundles, and they are the eyeshadow crayons and the eyeshadow quads. I don't think the eyeshadow quads are the same good formula that I get in the other eyeshadow palettes. They feel a little bit more mid. They feel a little bit kind of thrown together. I mean, we saw the swatches, the proof's in the pudding. I didn't think that these swatched out really well. They're not really pigmented enough to be a base. They're too pigmented to really just like blend out and be a true wash of color. I just didn't love these. I didn't love either of these. Maybe as I play with them more, if they stick around through the declutter, maybe I will change my opinion, but for right now, I just don't think they're great. These are not the same eyeshadow as in the other palettes. These are not worthy of that same amount of praise because these, when I compare them, just not the same. Then we have this little cream eyeshadow pot. This was fine. I think that if I loved cream eyeshadow, I would probably love this. But for me, when I need these, like, I need very pigmented, I need the colors to really show, this is not it. This could be an okay base, but it's got a lot of glitter in it, so putting down a glitter base and then putting eyeshadow over it can get kind of chunky and gross. So this is fine if you are just to like rub out one color of a cream shadow, do a little liner, and then go out the door. You would probably love these because for that kind of application, I think these are really, really good. For my kind of application, not really good. So I didn't really love this. Now, before we get to the last category, which is what the actual fuck, we do have a couple products that I mentioned that are new to my collection. Some of the products that I picked up when I went to the Ulta in Fargo where they had the display were just shade extensions of things I already had, like the Blursh Pods and things like that. But there were a couple of things that are genuinely new to my collection. The first one is the powder, the pressed curve case. I do generally like it. I would say if I had to guess, I feel like this is going to fall in the good category. There's nothing about these shades or the way that they apply that makes me think that this is going to be great. But I do feel like this is pretty good. I feel like this is a solid product. I think that the color selections are really nice. I think he has a nice range from fair to deep. And so I do really like this. I think he's got a good product here, but I need to do more testing before I say for sure. I also have the Bare Sparkles Lip Oil. This is like an oil gloss. I have tried this a little bit. We're going to put a little bit on and I'll just see how it looks with this lip combo. I have one of the Beam Sugared glosses on, but we're going to put this over. We're going to get real oopy goopy and we'll just kind of see what we think. This does feel nice and slippery on the lips. Now, when I was first putting on, you might have noticed there was a little bit of stringiness. But now that it's on and I've moved my lips around, I don't really notice it anymore. I think it's nice and smooth. It feels very nourishing on the lips. I'm liking it so far. Need to play with it more, but it is giving me that shiny, oopy goopy lip. But I don't feel like I'm going to have it all over my teeth. I don't feel like it's going to go all over my face. I do like it. I do like it. And then we have the lip gloss. This is the Lip Frost Intense Lip Balm in Summer Sangria. Like I said, I have been using this and I do generally like it. This is not really a drag thing. This is not something I would use for getting ready for drag. This is something that I just use myself. The fruity smell is light. It's kind of like not very specific. It's just kind of a generic fruity smell. But I like it. It is a little bit oily. It's not my favorite kind of like lip balm, lip gloss kind of formula. But I like it. And for when I'm just sitting at my computer and I feel like my lips are dry, I can put a little bit on. I do generally like it. So this for me out of drag is kind of a winner. But I don't feel like I can really rank it. I think it's going to end up in good. I don't think it's going to ascend to greatness. All right, we have arrived at what the actual fuck. There are 4 products here. Now, an honorary mention is that blue All Smudge No Budge pencil that I had bought that I talked about in that earlier video. I don't know why that one dried up so fast. I don't know why that was such garbage. So that's kind of an honorary one. But now that I have another color and it has lasted longer than a month, I'm feeling a little bit better about that, but let's talk about the 4 actual products that are what the actual fuck. The Comet Case. These look so pretty in the pans. These are gorgeous, glittery, glistening, but there's not enough base pigment, so it just looks like you've rubbed slightly colored Vaseline all over. It never really dries down. I don't know if it's supposed to. It even just kind of smells like baby oil, so that tells me that this is going to be greasy forever. If you have oily skin, you are going to turn into an oil slick. This is going to move your makeup around. If you are a heavy foundation wearer, if you don't mind something that's still a little bit sticky and you don't wear foundation and want to put this on bare skin, maybe this will work for you. But I cannot recommend this. I think this is so not good. The Modern Melt Liquid Lipsticks. I love the idea of this in like a little pen, but it's so hard to use. I mean, you have to keep it kind of elevated so that the liquid keeps flowing. Otherwise, the tip dries out almost immediately. So it's hard to use. It's awkward because I have my mirror down here. So that otherwise I would have a mirror in front of myself, and is that content? I don't know. But if I'm looking down at my mirror and trying to do my lips, then trying to also keep these elevated, that's not a posture that anybody can do their lips. It's not usable. It's not feasible. The finish is fine if you can get it on, but getting it on is such a chore. It's so fussy. It's so temperamental. The little ball tip ends, I don't understand it. Just do liquid lipsticks that have a doe foot or that have something where it's easier to use, because I think this formula could be great. I can just never get it on. in a satisfactory way to test it. I have to layer it with other products where it's just a little bit of a base, so if it's inconsistent, it blends into the liner or the gloss covers it up or something. I can't just put this on and use it by itself. Then we have the Slip Dew. I think that this is the same problem as the Comet case. This is colorful Vaseline. This is just greasy. It is just, oh, it's so... This seems to have a little bit more base color, but if you want like a bright like that, I had to put a lot on to get that. And so this is never going to dry down. This is going to be sticky on your face all day, and your hair is going to get stuck to it. And it feels like oil. Now this doesn't have the baby oil smell that the Comet case does, but it feels very similar where it's just greasy as hell. I don't like it. And the last WTAF product, you already know, the Shine Slime. I have never seen a case of a product bait and switch as bad as this, because it is so beautiful in the bottle. It doesn't have a right to look as good in the bottle as it does based on how it looks when you put it on. The only pluses that I can think of are that it looks pretty in the bottle and that it has a nice kind of fruity candy smell that is pleasant. Other than that, everything about this is terrible. Every time I've tried to use it on my chest, every time I've tried to use it on my arms, it's sticky, it never dries, it gets everywhere. It's like glossy and shiny, but like there's so much glitter when you look at it in the bottle. You don't see hardly any, if any, of the glitter. I don't understand this. I don't understand why there are so many colors of this. I don't understand why it keeps coming out. The new SpongeBob collection, if I had been able to order from the Made by Mitchell website without all those ridiculous taxes and tariffs, I would have ended up with like 2 or 3 more bottles of Shine Slime, because all of the SpongeBob had these, and I was willing to overlook it. I was like, maybe they've improved the formula. I want to try these other SpongeBob, so maybe we'll get a chance. That's what kind of a sucker I am, because they look so beautiful. And in the SpongeBob collection, there's one that's green. I want to believe that they're better, but that's how I ended up with 3, is that I'm dumb enough to believe that somehow it's going to be better, or this time it'll be different. Don't take that man back. It's never going to be different. And that's how I feel about these Shine Slimes. It's never going to be different. He's a bad man. Just leave him. Leave him. Leave him. All right, so that is my Made by Mitchell brand review. Tell me what you think down in the comments. What did you think about this? Do you like this format? Do you like me going through a whole brand and kind of talking about it? I'm thinking about doing something kind of similar, but in a different format for Blend Bunny. So let me know down in the comments if this is something that you are interested in, if you think this is fun, if you want to see kind of an overview of a brand as a whole rather than just an individual product. For brands that I have a lot of experience with, to get an idea of what's good, what's not, all those kinds of impressions and reactions, let me know in the comments. While you are down there, don't forget to give me that thumbs up to tell me that you appreciated the video. Or if you think that I am a mess and you're like, girl, what are you doing? What are you talking about? I love Made by Mitchell. I bathe in Shine Slime every single day, and it's the best product I've ever owned. You know what? Give me that thumbs down. It is all engagement. The algorithm isn't a picky bitch, and neither am I. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified of all future uploads. I try really hard to make sure I have at least one video or live per week. And sometimes, if you're lucky, if you're very lucky, you might even get a bonus video. Ooh, Shine Slime-orific. If you'd like to chat, banter, or commiserate between uploads, all of my social media will be linked down in the description box below, including a link to my website, The World of Champagne, at JanessaJ.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate all of you. Don't forget to look on my playlist tab and check out my whole playlist of all of my Made by Mitchell content. Pretty soon there's going to be a Get Ratchet With Me that we're adding where I put together this look. And I'm also going to be scheduling a live declutter where I declutter my Made by Mitchell collection. So you will get to see, now that we've done the review, now that we've seen what's good, what's bad, what's indifferent. We're going to do a declutter and see what actually gets to stay in my collection. Because it's not just about clearing off the bottom of the list. Sometimes something is toward the bottom, but it's still unique in my collection. Sometimes something is higher up on the list. And you know what? It's good, but I have other things that are better. So right now we're just looking at the quality of the brand itself. The declutter will be about how does this fit into my collection or not. So thank you everybody for watching. I love and appreciate all of you. And until I see you again, bye. Hello, Champagne Dreamers. Thanks for watching. Is the Glow Goo, and this is in the shade Peach Pearl. Is it Pearl? Peach Pearl? Yeah. Or the Charlotte Tilbury... Or the...
That wasn't me.
I know. Because nobody wants to talk to me until I'm doing something. It didn't cause any problems. And then we've got just a clear... Even though we're technically with... I get it. His name is Mitchell. It's made by Mitchell. He wants to use an initial. But this font with... Oh shit, I've got one backwards.
I was going to ask you if you did that on purpose.
To create a creative... if you saw my orange foundation video, nope. Beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful look.
Now my preference for liquid lips, nope.
Oh, you mean Blursh?
Blursh.
See, and it's trademarked too, I'm sure, Blursh. There's so much Blursh.
So much blursh.
So much.
These do work okay for a like lipstick. These do work okay for like a lipstick. Why is lipstick so hard to say?
It's what you rubbed on your chest all the time. To lure in all these men.
That's right. Hello, fellas.
Hello. You smell good, Janessa. What's that? Oh, it's my chicken grease.
My chicken grease.
My chicken grease today's.
What's next for great?
This other great stuff? Yeah.
Reach my boobies.
Titty dance.
Oopy goopy.
Betty's and Kate. Okay, I was recording that. Oh no, I'm so embarrassed.
Powder blush singles. Powder blush singles. Diamonds are forever. I love Blursh, even if I hate saying it.
It's a stupid name.
Jizzy lips.
Jizzy, 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 jizzy lips.
Throwing things on the ground. I didn't go with just regular bush. Pretty girl. This is going to be a very belchy bloopers. And I'm sorry in advance. But not sorry. These are a lot of fun. These are... pretty girl.
Oh my. That might have been more. But it wasn't. Thank goodness.
They are... pretty girl. Ooh.
Cool.
I'm not great with liquid... oh, pretty. Like I said, I tried the Blursh. Now these are fairly new to my collection. Okay, let me move this around. So these are in What the Fuck. These are in What the Fuck. Is everything else What the Fuck? I think it is. Where did I put the mega highlighters?